And you have the forms, Ryan?
Yes, sir, they're over there.
I'll guess on this, this form doesn't say how much the money is, but it'll be a check for $590
Okay.
for Tuesday and Thursday. Just half of that if you can't make it Thursday.
Okay, Dr. Norwood, it's going to go like that.
Okay.
All right.
This is a backup recording. Okay, so I am Bailey Norwood. I'm the professor in charge of this stuff, but this is, you've been corresponding with Ron. He's the grad student doing this for his dissertation, so he's going to be running things. I'm just the help today.
Okay. Okay, gentlemen. So I think I actually kind of gave y'all already the spiel.
Yeah,
Because
we
I
did.
was gonna.
Yeah.
I already gave them the
Okay.
spiel because I was just like,
Yeah.
well, I'll just redo it when everybody gets here. So like I said, you know, you have the instructions in front of you and everything. And one thing, I'll give you at least a background that I didn't give you on why we're doing this. So Dr. Norwood did a research project, I think 4 years ago now, where he recruited regular people, you know, people off the street like myself, who don't necessarily have a refined palate for food, and saw if they could tell a difference in wheat varieties baked into bread. Turns out they actually can, and on average people really can tell a difference in the varieties. And so we thought, let's try to do this with folks who actually have a refined palate such as yourselves, since y'all are all chefs or bakers in some manner. So now our idea here is to do just that. We're going to have you taste bread samples, and the only thing that's different about these bread samples is the wheat that was made to use or wheat that was used to make them. Again, this is not going to be a gourmet bread by any standards. It's going to be really plain and basically just try to bring the flavor of the wheat out. Right? There's nothing else added. It's salt, water, yeast, and flour. You already filled out all the forms. So I want to show y'all one thing. So I was showing y'all the scale from light to dark, basically, on those questions 1 through 9 that I was showing y'all. We're going to end up scanning these and copying them. So definitely, if you could, you know, don't do a mark like this, okay? Do a pretty distinct mark for us. That way, when I scan it, I can see it. You know, definitely, we're not going to complain about it being a big mark. You know, it'll help us out. Let's see. I think that's just about it as far as the background is concerned. So we'll have you taste the first sample. Like I said, you taste the first sample and you answer all the questions, 1 through 9. And like I said, how I explained them. We have some sour, not sour, malty, toasty. This as an example. Then we'll ask you to answer number 10, which is you circle those words like I was describing earlier. Up to 3, but not any more than 3. Then question 11 is kind of a more open-ended, and for those who were here last year, that's kind of similar to that, to the open-ended question we had given you for the keywords before. Number 12 is the Likert type scale, like I was showing y'all. And then, lastly, when you're done with all that, you're going to do a napping ultra flash exercise, which basically entails, and I've already shown y'all basically, but I'll do it again. After you taste the first sample, you can go ahead and put the first sample there. Okay, just in the middle, because you don't really know where it's going to place against all the rest of these. And let's say you taste the second sample and you think it's similar, you can place it right here, or you can place it right here. It doesn't necessarily matter. Like I said, the scale down here and up here is not important. There's no like 40 isn't better than 30 and 30 isn't smaller than 40 technically. So wherever you want to put it, as long as it's close. Well, let's say that now the third sample you think it's very different. You can place it over here. And if you think that the fourth sample is similar to 646, the fourth sample, or the third one, then you can place it over here. If you think it's different, you can place it over here. However it is, okay? Again, the most important thing there is that it's just a scale, and there's nothing tied to these numbers. It's just distance, okay? Let's see, what else? I think that's about it as far as background. Everybody's got their permission, and again, these samples today are actually whole wheat samples. So they were made using 50% whole wheat flour, 50% white flour. And then Thursday will be all white, so it'll be white bread. Okay. All right.
Excellent.
I think we're about ready to go. Anything on this?
So you said you put it in like this?
Yep, exactly like that.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
And then you just start and lift it up?
Yep. Perfect. And what we do is we got like 10, stack it all on.
And the thing where you circle the words, only circle them if you actually detect that taste. Don't feel like you have to circle words just to be doing it.
Oh yeah, one other thing I forgot too. I will have like I'll lead kind of a group discussion after we're done tasting everything. This is majority of group discussion too, so say whatever you feel, but if you don't have an opinion, you don't have to have one, right? If there's nothing you want to say, then that's perfectly fine. And don't let other people's opinions sway you in any way. Once you get it, you're welcome to start tasting it.
And call out the numbers each time.
Okay.
So make sure.
Yeah, we are testing sample 536 right now.
Okay.
Just double check that that's the one you have on your grid. everybody about that?
Yes.
Okay. So what are some of your thoughts on this sample?
I thought it was very light
Light?
and spongy.
Okay.
The first two that I got from it.
By spongy, do you mean that when you squish it, it stays? Or what do you mean by spongy?
I felt like it was on the moisture side of bread.
Okay.
It's pretty moist for being the first one.
Yeah, spongy was the flavor profile I liked. It stuck out the most. Like, I really liked the texture. It was just, what's the word? It was just, yeah, just the texture of it. It's kind of just disappeared easily.
Right,
Yeah.
definitely not dense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Good.
the opposite of dense.
Okay. What is this? Is it likable? Is less dense a likable characteristic?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I moderately liked it.
I feel like on that style of bread it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like eating a sandwich, you don't want it to be crazy
Yeah.
dense,
If
right?
you just sit down and put some butter on a piece of bread and eat a piece of bread, that's what you want.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
I
Great.
agree.
Great.
It's not like when you go to Jimmy John's, like I want that dense.
That dense.
thick,
Right.
soap up all the
We go to
things.
Jimmy John's for the bread, we don't go for
Right.
for
Right.
anything else.
That's all.
Is that what y'all use in the restaurant?
No.
Oh, okay.
We have a garlic butter yeast roll that we
Okay,
use.
that's what. Yeah. That sounds insane. Okay. Anything else? All right. This next sample that is coming out is sample 975. So be sure you're filling out the right spot on your paperwork and the right marker.
Paying a pretty good wage rate.
Yeah, me too.
I told my guys, I was like, one of my buddies was like, hey man, I need to turn this into a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
You get down the hourly rate on this thing, it ain't too bad. Turn it into a 40-hour week job, 52 weeks a year, you're talking about $600,000.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'd be out of the restaurant business.
me too.
That'd be huge after eating bread for every every meal, every lunch.
Worth it.
You could afford a personal trainer, you'd be fine.
There you go.
Yeah, you
Time to
could,
personally
you could
train.
afford one.
I forgot to remind y'all too, just be sure you're cleansing your palate between each sample.
Right.
So, Everybody done with this one?
Yes.
Awesome. So what are some of the attributes you picked for this one?
Very similar to the first,
Okay.
but in my opinion. I guess yeasty, kind of sour, but not
I feel like
crazy.
they were really similar to the first. Like he said, a little more yeast, a little more sour to it.
It still was spongy and it had.
But yeah, I like
It was
lightness.
still spongy, it was still light, maybe not as light.
Definitely got more denser to me.
Okay.
It wasn't as light.
It got denser as you chewed it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was
Okay.
definitely denser, and I think that was the most that differentiated it the most.
Okay.
It had similar taste, but in this one I felt like was more weedy and like almost more like toasty.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely like darker and not as
Yeast,
light.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so, yeasty,
Yeasty.
more.
So a little darker. again. Okay.
Yeah, well, I thought more flavor than the first.
Definitely more
Okay.
flavors going
More
on.
flavor, but in the darker direction, right? Like some.
Definitely in the
woodsy.
darker direction and
Okay.
heavier, but similar in the first one to an extent.
Great. Anything else you want to share about this one? Okay. The next sample that'll come out is 646. It'll be the third sample. what are some of the attributes that y'all picked for this one, like likable attributes that y'all picked?
Weedy.
Weedy,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like?
You can actually see, like. you
Yeah.
can- It looks more weedy to me. Like,
Okay. And you can see the brand and all that stuff
Yeah, it
in
looks,
the.
it looks like it has more.
Yeah, definitely had a whole wheat taste.
Okay.
Real neutral though, like real, almost plain. You know, the first two samples, the yeast really came through. You could really kind of taste the fruity.
Mhm.
This one kind of had none of that. It was just real, yeah, like I said, wheat.
I feel like you got a denser, more, unless it elastic crust.
Plastic.
When you go to pull it apart, it kind of that crust, especially once it actually sticks together.
Steak. Yeah, I agree. But the crust was definitely
Is that a good
bigger.
trait or a bad trait?
It depends on the bread on that one. I mean, it's kind of one of those, it fits in a pretty neutral spot.
I would say it's not a good trait with the other
Okay.
one, like with, just like eating a piece of butter on the bread, or eating bread and toast, that, the other one was better because the crust came off with it. This one was
Gotcha.
like wanting to hold it and just give you the bread on the innards.
Makes
If
sense.
it's fresh, I think it's a good thing, and if it's not fresh, I think it's.
That's a bad
you know,
thing.
Yeah.
If it's fresh and the way it's supposed to be,
I thought this one tasted earthy.
Earthy?
well.
Okay. What do you mean by earthy?
Like, very in neutral is what the first gentleman was
Okay.
saying, but more on the less spec of the yeast. It tasted less yeasty and more like earthy.
Okay. Good deal. Anything else? Okay. This will be sample 325, sample number 4. And I never did introduce y'all to each other. I can do that while y'all are eating. So this is Lenny over here. He's the chef over at Meditations Catering. This is John. He works for Panera Bread. He's one of the bakers. Vernon owns Bad Brad's Barbecue. And Ross over here, he works for Provisions in OKC. Ross, what kind of flour do you use for that pizza dough?
We use King Arthur and Caputo. Mm-hmm. Sir Lancelot.
That's what they call it. Sir.
Uh-huh.
What is Provisions?
Neighborhood Provisions is a restaurant inside of a country club in Edmond. It just recently opened up and got some renovations there.
Okay.
It's pretty neat. We do a lot of like banquets, catering, and then just regular dinner service throughout the week as well.
You just
Brunch.
right?
I showed it up for brunch last week. We got like a whole new team of ownership and management, so they put a lot of renovations in and redid the kitchen and restaurant.
Tell them about the pizza oven. We found it really cool.
Yeah, we just started doing like Neapolitan and New York style pizzas.
Mhm.
So we serve both of those in a wood fired oven. It's like a Marifani oven.
Yeah.
Ever heard of that brand? It's really cool. They like hand make this oven with all the tiles, and we have like a custom layout on it. And it's really neat.
What club is it?
It's the Rose Creek Country Club.
Is that done?
Is that private, public?
So right now we're public for the restaurant, but we have like five spots left until it's private, which I imagine will be filled up before
Yeah.
December.
You were chef at the country club here, weren't you?
Yes, the
Yeah.
one.
Okay, gentlemen. What'd y'all think about this sample?
Very close to the first three.
Okay.
The first one's kind of weedy, nutty, yeasty. You know, not as sour as the first three, but it's definitely the fruity undertone was there.
Okay.
And good texture. I think all the bread is that good texture, kind of spongy,
Yeah, I
fresher,
agree.
lighter.
Do you, when you say fruity, is this synonymous
Not
with
sweet,
like a floral
not
taste?
sweet.
Like a
More
floral?
like the yeast. More like
Okay,
the yeast.
more like the yeast,
kind
okay.
of taste.
Okay.
Yeah, more like a neutral sour kind of.
Okay.
Almost buttery, like it's not.
Okay.
It's definitely spongy and meaty.
Okay.
It was kind of just a nice plain blend. A little bit, like, if you buttered it, it wouldn't take much. Like you would have
Gotcha.
to put a whole lot of butter on it to do it.
Makes sense. Okay.
I think this one was one of the more denser ones we've tried yet. The crust was super not forgiving on this one. If you took a bite, you really had to get in on that crust. I got nutty and weedy for sure, heavier on the nutty. And
Is there a specific kind of
nutty
that you're
taste.
thinking about, or is it just kind of in general? Like
Just in general, I wouldn't have like a specific. And I definitely got like a more like maltier, toastier flavor on this one versus the other three we tried.
Do you find that a lot of this flavor's in the crust or in the actual crumb itself?
The crust.
Crust.
That crust was that.
Okay.
Had a lot of
Crust,
chewy and weedy going
Okay.
on.
Well, great. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, the next one will be sample 884. Sample number 5. good?
Yep.
Everybody's got their pieces on it?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal?
About here, yeah.
Let me get this one on. Sorry.
That one for me was definitely more smoky, toasty.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the toasty is really what popped out to me.
Okay.
I kept tasting this.
Is it dry?
Yeah, almost.
Dry.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like a piece of toast almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would that be an attribute that you would say be negative?
No,
This one?
I didn't find it negative or positive. Just kind of
Neutral.
yeah, you know, I just
Tastes like it was a couple days older.
It
Okay,
did.
for
or
sure.
maybe cooked a little longer or
Yeah.
but
Then and you're comparing this to the rest of the variety, or the rest of the breads that you
From what we've
had.
had today.
from yeah, I'm kind of using yeah.
Even
from
where
536.
the like the crust met the crumb, there was like an outer line on the crust or on the crumb that was still harder like crust, but it
Gotcha.
wasn't crust. And
Yeah,
it
it's
was
hard to-
whenever I was biting into it, I've noticed that it would like come out into a bunch of different pieces rather than
Okay.
stay like one moist piece of bread. It was like crumbly already, like you said,
Okay.
like it was already toasted.
Gotcha.
Well, and on some of the, well, like the crust when you tear it apart, it wasn't as elastic. When it broke, it broke.
It broke, kind of
Some of
ripped
the
up.
other stretch may have been a little pressure. It had some stretch to it.
Okay. But this one did not.
Yeah, no stretch.
Like when you broke the crust apart, it broke apart.
It broke apart. Gotcha. Crumbled a little bit.
A little spicy.
A little spicy? Okay.
For me, it was a little different than the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Okay. Great, we'll move on to the sixth sample, number 936.
Thank you.
everybody good to go? All right. So what is an attribute that you picked, or attributes that you picked, that you think, that you dislike about this variety, if you picked any? If you like this variety, then I'd like to
I
hear
thought
that
it was
too.
pretty dry.
Thought it was dry?
Right, if I were to, yeah.
Yep, the dryness of it, it was crumbly
It was
for
crumbly?
sure, but I was thinking like right off the bat when I picked it up, it'd be like good bread for French toast.
Okay.
Because it has like good hold
Sponginess?
on it and you can dip it in there and get it on there without it like completely dissipating on the flat top or
Okay,
whatever.
okay.
It just seemed like real like, I don't even know the word for it, other
Maybe
than
firm
dense.
is a word, like, it,
Yeah,
I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but,
right.
Again, it was a lot like the one we just had. It was a little more dense. It was tastes like it was either cooked a little longer or
Okay.
older. Tastes like a wheat bread that had been on shelf
okay.
a couple days in the grocery store.
Did this one taste more like a wheat bread you find in the grocery store compared to the other ones, or?
A little bit. I mean, just because it wasn't necessarily gritty, but it kind of left a gritty feel in your mouth because your mouth was drier, I think.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, it did have like a dry little, like an aftertaste, but.
The
I mean,
aftertaste was the.
Real
Yeah, I
dry.
thought it was a good
I don't think it was
smoky,
that
dark,
good.
and weedy is what I got. You know, it's similar to 646 to me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, but just a little bit drier, almost.
okay.
But yeah, it's good.
I had it right there with 6.62.
There we go, okay.
I felt like it was like drier consistency wise, but it definitely tasted buttery to me.
Buttery, okay. Anything else? Okay, great. We'll move on to sample number 7, 632.
You know, there's some people actually do this for a living,
Yeah.
sensory, yeah.
What's the best-selling item at Bad Brad's? One item.
Dirty fries,
What does that consist of?
meat, cheese, and fries. Jalapenos, onions.
Good grief.
Nachos are really big too.
Do you use like a cheese sauce on the nachos, or do you use shredded?
Yeah, we use a white queso
Oh boy.
with a little
Sounds
uh,
really good.
fresh shredded mild cheddar on top. Throw it underneath the melter.
that whole concept of like just piling stuff is becoming a real thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
students would tell me there's a restaurant on the strip where that's all they do.
Really?
I can't remember the name of it,
They
but
just shove stuff onto a plate and.
that's the
Dirty
thing.
30.
What is it?
It's
Is it-
Dirty 30 that you
Yeah,
shit on a hot
that's
dog.
right.
Oh, yeah, the Curdy
yeah,
Shack.
yeah, the Curdy Shack. They just put like anything they can think of on a hot dog.
Chips, peanut butter, and sardines.
Hey, the Dirty Smack is killer, man.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
They're
I'm not
super
real
good at
big-
4 in the morning.
I'm not a real big cream cheese fan on it, every now and then, but my Dirty Smack without cream cheese.
It's good. Doesn't that one have chips on it? Crunchy chips?
I love that aspect.
It's
of
got
it.
mac and cheese, and you can add chili to it, I think.
That's
You
wicked.
got like a chili mac and cheese hot dog with some crunchy chips on it,
Oh
and
man.
some fresh red onions to set it off.
Future me would.
Do y'all
hate-
do any loaded taters at Brad's?
Yeah, we do a stuffed spud, just regular meat in it. Then we do a city slicker that'll have our cowboy beans, and it'll have cowboy beans, meat, cheese, fried onions.
Good. I'm in for the city slicker.
Yeah, give me the city slicker. Okay, gentlemen, what do you think about this sample?
I thought it was very similar to the first bread we tasted, 536.
I put it right between 536 and 325.
Okay.
It's a fresher.
Yeah.
The toast wasn't, or the crust wasn't as elastic,
Yeah.
but it didn't break right off. It didn't taste like an old piece of bread or anything.
Okay.
Very fresh.
I had a little nuttier, buttery, more buttery, still really weedy.
I think it's like what you would find if you bought it at the store.
Okay, so this is
Fresh
a similar
at the
to
store.
fresh at
Yeah.
the store.
Yeah.
Generic wheat bread sandwich,
Okay.
mayo and ham. That's like what I'm tasting right there. Is
Yeah.
that kind of sandwich?
You just got it home, not a week later.
Yeah, that you just got at home and you open it out of the package.
Anything else?
It was like in the middle of like the denseness that we've tried recently. So that first one was super light, I felt like, and then the other ones we've tried recently were super dense. This one was like fell right in the middle of that,
Okay.
but still tasted similar to the first bread we had.
Definitely more moist
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
and on the sweeter side.
Yeah.
Okay. Great, thank you. This next sample that'll come out is sample 785, I believe. Sample number 8.
Cool.
I'm gonna go back and eat meat now because I'm tired of eating bread.
You need to soak up the bread.
Yeah.
Should have brought some brisket with you.
Yeah.
Holy Thursday.
Well, if that's the case, I expect a Neapolitan pizza on Thursday.
I've got
Full
a
pork
healthy
street tacos
taco.
today.
Oh boy.
What's that?
Pulled pork street tacos today.
Is that your special today?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Do you have an app where you can link into the video of your kitchen to see what your employees are doing while you're gone?
And the customers.
Okay, gentlemen, is that it? Okay. So what is, I'm kind of curious in some of the attributes that y'all wrote yourself, if you did write any, if not, no big deal. I'm kind of just curious in the attributes of that, if you provided the ones that we didn't provide. If not, then just share your thoughts on this one.
Was again smoky.
Smoky?
A lot like the, I don't remember what sample number it was, but this, it's real strong, dark, smoky, kind of dry, not as in like it doesn't have moisture, kind of dry as in like,
It's a dry bread.
like
Sure,
how,
sure, right.
yeah, you know, it doesn't just like completely, you know, dissolve away on your tongue, there's a little
Okay.
chew to it. But yeah, I thought almost again, like it was, I don't know, maybe baked longer, or, yeah, almost like a toasted, flavor.
And when you said smoky, what do you kind of mean by smoky?
Like toast, like.
Okay, okay, makes sense, I got you.
That one tastes like it had a little more yeast in it.
Okay.
I got like
It's
a
got a little bit
whole,
more sourness in it, is that kind of what you mean by the yeasty?
Kinda, not like a sour bread or anything, but just like it was baked with just a little pinch more of yeast, and it's
Okay.
gonna.
it was weird, but it seemed like more wholesomely like yeasty. Like
Okay.
it was it wasn't like wasn't necessarily like the flavor of yeast was very strong in there. It was just like there was a ton more
Just a-
packed in there.
Yeah,
And it felt like when I took my first bite, the entire of the crust like wrapped off with it. So I think it was just very denser on the denser side, and
Okay.
I got smoky as well.
Okay, gentlemen. I will go to sample 9, number 555. Ross, did you get the name of your beef supplier that I was talking about?
I did not. I should have.
I'm curious.
I could text him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know as well. I should know which farm it is. I know it's in Oklahoma City though, like near around that area.
They all do that. They do the farm to table stuff. I was wondering if it was Brady giving it to them.
We got gifted like a whole bone-in rack of ribeyes that we cut 32-ounce ribeyes out of. That were huge. The special was called Brontosaurus. They were like 40-minute ticket times, but we you know the table was aware of how long that steak would take to cook, but they were pretty cool.
Yeah.
We were gifted. They were told that the restaurant that bought it was under the assumption that it was like a different quality, like a higher quality than it was. So they couldn't have put it on their menu that says that it's prime or whatever.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
they gave it back to their food rep, and their food rep couldn't do anything with it and brought it to us.
Hmm.
So you can do what you want with it. It's pretty neat.
it happens.
For sure.
Huh.
It's been several, I've gotten boxes of steaks instead of brisket before.
Yeah, they do that often.
Sounds like US Foods.
All of them. Cisco, SGC, Betty Keith, they're all just as bad.
Is Benny Keith technically like the higher end one, quote unquote?
To tell you, I've had the least mispicks with Benny Keith.
Okay. Okay.
Most with US Foods and Cisco.
Cisco
Not
for
many
sure.
Benny Keith, but
Cisco, you're gonna have a lot of missed picks, but
And they're never on time. They'll come like, they'll deliver at
They-
like 5:30.
they also do
afternoon.
more business than US and Betty Keith put together probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got into using SGC out of Springfield. I really like them. They're good quality. They compete with just about everybody. I consistently use Cisco, US, and SGC, but I've been ordering a bunch of stuff from Hell Webstrong.
Okay.
Like we make our own seasonings. Most of my seasonings are now coming bulk from Webstrong because they're a third of the price.
Oh, okay.
Literally, when I'm making, 50 pounds of seasoning at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's half to a third of the price.
Yeah, makes sense to. do
Well,
that.
hell, Walmart's where I've been buying brown sugar right
Mm.
now.
Really?
Yeah, but I go through 50 pounds of brown sugar a week or better. We're making barbecue sauce. We make 90 gallons of barbecue sauce a week, so.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. All right. Y'all good on this sample? Okay.
Yeah. This one, it was like I have all the same attributes as the others, but in my mind it was almost like they were there in like an undertone. It kind of had like a white bread taste more
Okay.
than any of them today.
It's kind of
Um,
less in your face, the flavors.
Yeah,
compared to the
yeah,
rest.
it was I mean it was like neutral. I mean almost.
Okay.
Of all the breads today, yeah, this was it almost had like a white bread feel, but like I knew the smoky dark taste is there, but yeah, just I don't know how to explain it. It almost tasted, it kind of felt like a piece of white bread.
This is the only one I put Woodsy on so far.
Okay.
I mean, it was kind of middle of the road. I felt like there were some flavors in it that were a little unbalanced, though. I don't know what it was per se,
Okay.
but there was something leaning one way or another. Said it wasn't as dense as some of the breads that we've had today. Excuse me, right there in the middle as far as moisture.
Okay.
Definitely wasn't a sweet bread. I thought it was on the fresher side than some of what we've had today.
Okay.
I thought it was sour. I thought it was more on the sour side of anything we've tried today.
Now, when you mean sour, do you mean kind of like yeast flavor? Do you
Almost
mean
like the sourdough taste of sourdough,
Okay.
like just that like sour punch behind bread.
Okay.
It's got like a.
just a little punch?
Mhm.
Okay.
Speaking of which, if you're wanting some sourdough bread, Freddie Paul's is doing it with their steaks now.
Really?
I went and I got it to go yesterday, and it was a sourdough loaf. And it was a small loaf, simple loaf, but it was a good sourdough loaf if you like sourdough.
I do.
That's awesome.
yeah, they used to do sourdough rolls back.
Well, they did the rolls, and then they recently switched bread
The
back to
bread
the
to a
actual
loaf.
loaf, like it was a loaf about that big, so it's perfect for, 3 people, 4 people,
Right.
or
Yeah, 'cause
one.
the sourdough rolls, they were good, but they took a long time to
To
make.
make.
Because you have to make a mother,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
No, you said y'all have a workaround.
we
for
do
that, don't you?
so to get our pizza dough to taste like 4-day-old pizza dough every day. We're selling out of pizza dough daily. So to do that, the day before, 14 hours prior to making the actual dough, we make a poolish, which is like a sourdough starter and it's basically just like gives you that skips. It's a pre-ferment. It skips 4 days for you, and you get good packed punch sour flavor into your dough. It's pretty neat. So it's literally just flour, water, and yeast, and 14 hours of rising, and it's burping up all this yeast smell, and we add that into our dough mixture.
So good pizza dough is supposed to be 4 days old?
Good pizza dough is not made, or it's supposed to have 4-day-old dough.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all got trained by like some new pizza guy.
We had a pizza consult like for an entire week. This guy named Pizza Lee came, and that's his whole business, is teaching people how to make dough and work the ovens and stuff.
Back in Philly, we
He's
used to
franchised
do
itself.
trash
Right.
cans
I
full.
love it.
Really?
And it would overflow, man.
Of dough?
Yeah, trash cans full of dough.
Yeah,
Let it sit for a couple days.
it's wild. The amount of polish we put in there, the beginning of the night here, and it comes
That's
up to an
crazy.
18-quart Cambro this big.
Okay, gentlemen, this sample's 856. Sample
Okay.
number 10. The last one.
So it's fresh pizza dough, but with old sourdough starter.
Right.
So to give it a packed punch.
Well, it looks cold flush. It sounds like a.
You don't want to drop your damn phone or something and tow us around here, man.
Sounds like an airplane toilet, you know?
Strong pipelines.
Once y'all are done answering the questions related to this sample, you can flip to the back page, the last page, and there's another, just kind of the last few questions to finish it up.
When we left the east side, we had 7 different breads.
Really?
It was ridiculous. We had two different sizes of buns, and then you had hoagies. Then we had Texas toast. Then we had barbecue toast, and then we had white bread and wheat bread. And I got rid of all of them except for we do one size bun, and I do a garlic butter yeast roll.
Oh, that's
What's
much-
the barbecue toast?
It's you ever been to Cane's?
Yeah.
That style of toast is called barbecue toast.
Oh.
Okay. With the I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's good toast.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
It's
I'm sure
really
that
good.
garlic roll that you got
That garlic
going
butter
down.
yeast roll, it holds really well.
You'll keep it like hot in a shafer or no? Okay.
And so we'll throw in, depending on how busy the day, we'll throw in 20 rolls and they hold pretty well.
I'm sure that's easier headache when you're trying to read your order sheets now, not having 9
You're not
varieties
waiting
of
on-
bread.
Well, in this town, you've got to be fast food without being fast food. And where we're at, we're right there in the middle. We're not fast food, but we still have to get ticket times out fast.
Are you
Right.
Because
right there
people
by
think we
Urgent
should
Care?
be.
Right there by Urgent Care?
No, we're all the way east of town. We're 19th
Opla
used to be.
Orthopedic.
Yeah, the surgery
Yeah,
center.
the surgery center.
Yeah, I don't think I know. All right.
Where 19th Hall used to be.
Oh, 19th Hole's not there anymore? There I used to work.
That's his place now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
is
have,
it?
yeah, they haven't been there since COVID, March of 20.
Did you know them?
Mm-hmm. I offered to buy that place, or buy the business from them.
Cheryl and Ryan? Was that
Ryan.
Ryan.
Ryan?
They own
I think
Willie's
his
now.
sister had.
Yeah, I knew that.
And then
Yes.
Outlaws and Murphy's too, they just acquired.
Really? And those all three of those places owned by the same people, huh? Didn't know that.
For now,
Businesses.
they go through a lot of
Oh, okay.
businesses. They go through businesses like I go through underwear.
Well, the guy that owns that, the guy that sold them that business, I would venture to say did not sell them the building.
Okay,
Put it
gotcha.
that way.
Yep, makes sense.
And he has an option to take that business back if I don't miss my guess. I know him and he's pretty savvy. And I know what he's done in the past 3 other times. So,
Imagine he'll do it again.
if he needs to,
Good deal.
he's not gonna lose money on the deal.
There you go. Okay, gentlemen. Is that it for y'all on this sample?
Yes.
Okay. What did y'all think about it?
A lot like the last sample. Maybe I don't know if my palate's getting worn down or not, but again, it was like just very balanced. Is I guess what I'm gonna say. Like the undertones again of the weedy, grainy flavors were there, but it almost had a white bread bite to
Okay.
it, a flavor to it.
I got that with the first one. There were 3 that I thought were similar. Like the first one, the last
First one,
one,
last one.
Mm-hmm.
and one in between.
I caught a little smoky, burnt taste on this one.
Okay.
Not burnt, but just like that little, had just a touch more bitter. It wasn't a sweet bread by any means, but it didn't, not in a bad way.
Okay.
Like it was definitely dense. It had the crust had a little more elasticity on it. Again, it was a wheat bread, spongy.
Okay. Now, would y'all say that this bread is more like white bread or more like wheat bread in terms of the flavor? And
Wheat for
Wheat.
sure. I got like a
Wheat and the
malty.
okay.
The
Toastier.
texture, the actual texture of the bread, not the crust, was very white bread texture-ish.
Okay.
Yes, I
However,
agree with
but the
that.
flavor and
But the
everything
flavor is
between
still
it.
wheat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was more like that same store bought,
Okay.
like bread that
Yeah.
I would expect to get,
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Did everybody answer the very last page?
Mhm.
Yes.
Everybody answered the very last? Great. Okay, gentlemen, well, I really appreciate y'all's participation today. Just go ahead when you leave, just leave everything where it's at, we'll clean it all up. And don't touch the grid or anything, just kind of be careful around it because we're going to take pictures and copy it all. And I will see y'all on
For
Thursday.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make us clean the last hour?
No,
Next
no,
hour
no.
we got?
We're not even gonna clean today.
This is for Thursday?
Yes.
All right.
About 2 hours of cleaning on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm a little disappointed in you. You were more entertaining last time. You had
Yeah,
all, you had all these
Don't blame
flavors
it on
like
me, it's the
you had all these
source.
flavors like the battery.
The battery acid flavor, yeah, or the burnt light bulb.
That's
I didn't
right.
taste any
Maybe
burnt
it
light
was
bulbs.
better bread.
Thank God.
They had better bread this time.
Yeah, that's it.
That band
I
is
hope- I
is
think
from
that's what you
somewhere,
guys are-
right, String?
No,
Here
this is
before,
Billy Strings.
making,
He's
uh,
out of Michigan, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
he's-
I thought there was a band, Strings, that was here. that
There
my
might be a
father was
local band.
listening to, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
don't
that
think there's
there
a
is.
local band.
I'm sorry?
But I know it.
Of strings?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think, I thought it was strings, they played, like they were outside, what I see, the band I'm thinking of, they played outside the tattoo place across from,
Oh,
the Walmart,
Yeah.
neighborhood market.
oh yeah,
I
by
know what
the,
you're talking
I
about.
know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Lakeview and Perkins, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Guys,
But I
good to meet
thought-
you. Good to see you.
Great
Good to see you, Ryan.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
See you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
Thanks, guys.